Welcome to Play Along. I'm Michael Gould. This is Knockin' on Heaven's Door by Bob Dylan.
Badge of me, 'cause I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. It feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Cause I can't shoot them anymore. That long black cloud is coming down. It feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
The introduction for Knockin' on Heaven's Door is 4 measures long. The snare drum's on 2 and 4, and the bass drum is played on beat 1, the end of 2, and beat 3. I'm going to play the bass drum and the snare drum together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try practicing that on your own. Let's put the ride cymbal with the bass drum and snare drum. The ride cymbal just plays eighth notes. At the beginning of the introduction, you can hit a crash cymbal. If you have 2 crashes, you can hit them together, or just 1 crash. Doesn't matter. Let's play the first 4 measures together. Remember, the most difficult part about this tune is the tempo, so try to subdivide eighth notes. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and... Great. The first verse, the groove changes a little bit. I'm going to play you the groove and then we'll break it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the first measure of the first verse, the bass drum plays on beat 1 and 3. The snare drum's on 2 and 4, so we just have quarter note pulse with eighth notes on the hi-hat. The difficult thing is to play it in time. Because it's slow, we have to subdivide eighth notes, so listen to your hi-hat and count along. The second measure, the bass drum comes on beat 1, beat 3, and the end of 3. Let's put both measures together with eighth notes on the hi-hat. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we open the hi-hat on the end of 4. The end of the first verse in the 8th bar contains a fill on beats 3 and 4. It's 16th notes, so if we count it just on the snare drum, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Let's try it together on the snare drum. 1, 2 E and a. All right, great. I'm going to show you now how it is orchestrated around the kit. 1, 2. The first part of that is on the snare drum and the bass drum. I'm playing flams on the beat 3 and the end of 3. Let's just try that. Let's try it together. 1 E and a, 2 E and a. All right, you should practice that on your own. The fourth beat of the last measure of the verse, you start on the snare drum and then you go down the tom-toms. 4 E and a. I'm going to play it for you once. 1, 2, 3 E and a. After the or the floor tom, we hit the downbeat, a crash cymbal with the bass drum. Let's try it together. Beat 4 and crash on the downbeat. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a. You can also try this a lot slower. 1, 2 E and a, 3 E and a. Let's put it together now. Beats 3 and 4 of the last measure of the first verse. 1, 2. Let's play the last measure of the first verse and move on to the groove. 1, 2. Great. Next we move on to the chorus. The chorus is 8 measures long. It starts with a crash on the downbeat and moves right to the ride cymbal playing eighth notes. The bass drum plays on the downbeat and beat 3 and the end of 3. The snare drum's still on 2 and 4. I'm going to play the bass drum and the snare drum together. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Let's try to play the first 4 measures. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Great. Following the chorus, we have a 4-bar transition. The 4-bar transition moves off the ride cymbal from the chorus and onto the hi-hat, playing eighth notes. The bass drum and the snare drum remain the same as we just played. The only difference is we're playing a cross stick. I'll play it for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can try and practice that on your own. Following the 4-bar transition, we move on to the second verse. The groove remains essentially the same, except instead of playing a cross stick, we move to playing either a rim shot or a regular stroke on the snare drum on 2 and 4. We're going to open the hi-hat on the and of 4 of the second measure. Let's try to play this together. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. The last 4 measures of the second verse have the same groove as the first 4. The last measure contains a fill of 16th notes on bar 3 and 4 between the floor tom-tom and the snare drum. You play these together in 16th notes. It sounds like this. 1, 2. You could play the 16th notes with a crescendo getting from soft to loud. Remember to try to play these together. Let's play the last measure of the second verse, which is the fill on beat 3 and 4 into the chorus. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can play this 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and 1. Let's play it one more time together, slowly. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Following the second verse, we move into the chorus. The chorus follows the second verse. Play the same groove as you played in the first chorus. The solo section following the chorus continues with the same groove. Let's talk about the last measure of the solo section. The last measure of the solo section, in measure 8, has a fill on beats 3 and 4. They're 16th notes, so we counted 1, 2, 3 E and 4 E and. We're going to split up our hands and our feet between 3 E and 4 E and hand, foot, hand, foot, hand, foot, hand, foot. So on their hands, we can play a flam, a right-handed flam, where our right stick is higher than our left, and then followed by a bass drum. Sounds like this. 1, 2. Let's play it together, really slow. 1 E and 2 E and Let's try playing the last measure of the solo section and hit the downbeat with the bass drum and the cymbal. 1 E and 2 E and. Next, we move on to the last chorus. The last chorus is 8 measures long. The groove remains the same as we played in the last section, except for the last measure. The last measure fill begins on beat 3, continues through beat 4, and we hit the downbeat for the last note of the tune. I'm going to play it for you once, and then we'll break it down. Here's the last measure. You'll notice that we also slowed down in the last measure, so follow along carefully with the rest of the musicians on the play-along track. Here's how we count the last measure. 1, 2, 3, and 4 E and 1. If we orchestrate it around the drums, it sounds like this. Let's just play beats 3 and 4. All right, that was Knockin' on Heaven's Door. Have fun.